Hello and welcome to Tales from the Age of Men. This is the total conversion that focuses on Lord of the Rings. Oh yes. And so, as you can tell, we are going to be playing as the elves of Mirkwood in this little series. I don't know how long it's going to go, but we're going to try absolutely everything out that we can when, in regards to elves. So, we're going to go straight on in as the Sylvan here. And we're going to be, race obviously human. Human is the only one available at the moment in this very early development build. So otherwise, I think we're probably just going to stick with what we've got going on here. And then we're just going to move on. All right, so what do we have? Okay, obviously, this is the point. We're going to be playing with bows, of course. Scouting and bows. There we go. Absolutely perfect. Okay, what else do we want here? We want, we want riding skill, I assume, right? We want to be a horse archer. But the problem with horse archery is with the base game of Bannerlord. They have changed it rather dramatically, the ability to shoot on horseback and actually do relatively well with it. Unfortunately, the base game developers decided to make them basically useless. So we're going to have a bit of a hard time leveling that up as we go here. So let's see what we're going to go for. Polearm and bow. Yep, I'm assuming polearm and bow. That's probably the way to go there. We're going to be age 40 like we normally do. And then we'll just choose our wonderful banner here. Oh, actually, you know what? I like this. I like this color combination a little bit more for our elven playthrough here. So our family name will be Bertild, of course. Elf Bertild. And I have no idea. What did I call my other elf, by the way? I have no idea what I called my other elf now. Alright, so I actually looked it up. I went on my channel and took a look at the last day's playthrough. And as you can see, we got Bertildian. Yeah, so our name is Bertildian Bertild. It doesn't really work, does it? No, it doesn't really work. But it's not like anyone calls us by our legal name anyway, right? So yeah. Anyway, we're just going to use Bannerlord preset, auto-allocate clan member perks like I normally like to do, and then we are otherwise going to be moving in. Alright, so here we go. This is our wonderful little elf here, and as you can see, we start with 21,000 in cash. So that's obviously a dramatic difference from our Mordor start, where we had, I think, 2,000. Did we have 2,000? I think so, yeah. Something like that. So we have 21,000 here, and as you can see, immediately we are being given incredible units that are going to put everyone else to shame. And you can see here that we also have 10 spaces. So these 4 units take up 10 spaces. Obviously, one is me, so technically they take up 9 spaces, I guess. Anyway, that's 6,000. We're getting a little bit of leadership increase as well, which is pretty nice. Okay, and yeah, well, now what are we going to do? What are we actually going to do? Well, I'd like to level up my athletics skill a little bit, like to level up my riding skill somewhat, and we are probably... Are we going to use a polearm? Are we going to use a polearm? I'm actually unsure. You know what? Let's go in to the marketplace and actually take a look, because let's see what we're actually even using here. Okay, so we're using a piercing polearm. There we go. Okay, now this is perfect. This is actually one of the... one of the best polearms I've seen recently, so... We're probably going to be ending up using that. I'm not going to use the spear. Let's actually just put that away. Let's see, what else are we using here? Okay, so I'm thinking I would like to... Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not going to be really able to purchase anything super dramatic. But anyway, let's just do a little bit of something here. 21 days. Let's just do this. There we go. I need to make sure... Yeah, cargo within capacity. Let's buy one of these. And what is our other... Oh, we don't actually have a mount. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we're not actually... Okay, so I have 20 movement speed. So I guess what I'll do is I will literally put myself on a mount. I'm not sure if that's a particularly good idea, but I am going to do it nevertheless. Let's take this as well. Capacity has been exceeded. Well, yeah, obviously, because we just had the harness on us, but that's okay. And now this is our civilian set as well. So our civilian set, as you can see, does actually have a ridged, tipped arming sword. And potentially, you could sell this. You could sell this for 1,000, which is actually kind of good. You know what? I'm going to sell it for 1,000 here. And we can even sell the Mirkwood Spear for 22,000. So I could do that. So let's do that. Why not? I mean, why shouldn't I do that, right? Okay, so we'll get the horses, we'll get the food, and I believe, well, there's obviously one thing that we need to do, and that's actually get some armor and stuff like that. But obviously right now, that's going to be extremely difficult because the marketplaces really don't have anything that are really worth buying. So we're just going to stick around with this. I don't have a bow. That's very interesting. I'm surprised we don't start with a bow. Let's see if there are any bows available here. It's going to be highly unlikely. No, there aren't any very good bows, at least. There is a simple short bow here, which is probably basically going to be pointless to use, in my opinion. And yeah, we need one of those MIRKWOOD bows, you know. We need one of those really, really good MIRKWOOD bows. Oh, there is actually a tournament going on here as well. By the way, if you would like to check out the Mordor/Uruk playthrough that we experienced recently, then there will be a link in the description to the playlist, so you can take a look at that. And obviously, as is always the case, whenever I make a video or a series or anything like that on a new mod, there will be a link to download it in the description as well. So let's go on into the tournament here. I'm kind of okay, I'm gonna say it right now. I think this is going to be impossible. I think this will be impossible. Absolutely, especially with Legolas and Thranduil here. I really do not believe we will be able to achieve victory here for any reason. There is no way ever I will be able to do this. The only thing I can hope to do is maybe get a little bit of one-handed skill and maybe a little bit of athletic skill. Yeah, no, there's just nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. Skip the current match. Did we get through? No, of course not. Yeah, well, as you can see, Thranduil, obviously, I mean, if I take a look at him, you'll know exactly the reason why he was so dangerous. He has insanely good stats, as you might expect, you know, because he is indeed an elf, and we are literally level 1. So, I mean, you can see here, look at him. He has literal 600 in leadership as well. He has 300... You know, to be honest, his combat skills are not that high. So, you know, all intents and purposes, I think we probably could have beaten him if we were in a 1 versus 1, maybe. But obviously, that's a very big maybe there. And we're gonna get some more of these fellows because I might as well. They take up 2 spaces each. Okay, so we're gonna spend 7,500 on that. How much am I actually? Okay, only 213 per day. That's actually really good. I'm kind of surprised about that because I heard that the expenses were quite a lot, but apparently they seem pretty decent to me at the moment. But maybe once we level up, maybe they'll be a little bit more dangerous for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go for headshot damage. I think headshot damage early on, especially with low damage weapons, is definitely going to make more of a difference. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put another point in this. We're going to put some points into polearms because I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing a lot of damage with polearms. Let's put every single attribute point in vigor here as well. And we'll put some more points into athletics. And then I think we should probably spec into scouting. We need medicine. We need medicine. At least 1 point into medicine. I'm thinking scouting, leadership, medicine, probably charm. And then we'll try to get some companions that will fill out the steward, engineering. I'm not going to do medicine either. So yeah, steward, medicine, engineering. So basically the trifecta of intelligence perk trees. That's what we'll do. And we're moving very, very slowly right now. But funnily enough, I'm actually moving faster than these guys. Okay, that's... What do you mean? We're just harmless Okay, can I just ask something real quick? Oh yes, it's because we have very, very few people. That's it. It's because we have very few people. That's the reason why my power levels are so low. Because these criminals, they're just looters. We should be, you know, theoretically, we should absolutely destroy these guys. Alright, so it is actually a little bit dark, but we don't have to even worry about that because these guys are not archers. Which I have to say, I do appreciate that particular decision. Because obviously if you think about... You know, think about the troublesome nature of an archer at the very beginning with 350 in all skills. That is a little bit, let's just say it, you know, maybe a little bit imbalanced, you know, so it's very, very enlightened that the modding team decided to go for infantry only, because it's going to make things a lot more difficult. And I'm going to bring out my glaive. Oh yeah, see, now this is exactly what I was talking about. Look at this. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I'm saying. That is what I am saying. Thank you very much. These guys will not be able to kill my forces in a million years. And oh yes, the slashers. The slashers are the thing of gods. Yes, it is wonderful. We are absolutely destroying every... Oh, that looter actually managed to survive, surprisingly enough. I'm actually somewhat shocked. Yeah, but they're running away, as you can quite clearly tell. And I would like to get a little bit of extra experience here, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to continue running them down, even though it is a little bit bloodthirsty. But, you know, anything to get my skills up, right? You know. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. And that's it. There you go. Okay, so that was obviously extremely simple for us, and we did get 2.6 renown. I was kind of wondering about that as well. I was kind of wondering about how it's going to work with renown gains, because obviously we're pretty much outnumbered every single time we go into a battle, right? We're outnumbered every single time, unless we're going up against elves, which we won't. But let's just have a look and see what we can level up here, because as you can tell, there are 5 different options, which I must admit, that is a little bit overwhelming. But, you know, I know exactly what I'm going to be going for here. I am going to be going for Sylvan Sentinels. I mean, literally, how can I say no to that? This is the only archer-based troop line that you can go for. But I do respect the fact that that is the case, because, let's face it, elves are kind of railroaded most of the time. They're usually just like, oh yes, you use a bow, don't you? You know, it's that kind of thing, you know. Everyone always thinks that elves only use bows, but funnily enough, these fellows level up into some extremely powerful glaive users. As you can see right there, they're using that glaive. And then they also level up into these heavy infantry, which are going to be very, very dangerous to deal with for any kind of, well, any kind of opponent that's going to be coming in there. Now, one thing we do have to bear in mind... Oh, yeah, these guys actually use... they use more space. Okay. I'm going to have to get rid of I'm going to have to get rid of a recruit. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to... we're not going to be able to do this. Let's just take these looters just for the sake of roguery skill. We actually leveled up. There we go. We got some leadership skill level ups. Let's take some loot here, even though it's probably not going to really do much. I mean, let's face it. Technically, what we could also do is we could get a caravan. Because we have 27,000. We do have enough to be able to technically get a caravan, which would be pretty nice. That would enable us to get some passive income. But the question is it required? Because at the moment, we're only losing 200 in cash. But the thing is, would a caravan get us more or less than that? That's the question, right? Okay, so let's actually see here. This guy is clearly not a caravan guy. Let me actually just go into... Let's go in here and actually see what's going on. Okay, yeah, we're basically getting nothing at all from the loot there. 900, which is okay. You know, don't get me wrong. 900 is pretty good. That does sustain us for quite some time. And we have some Rune Raiders here. Shall we go in against Rune? Yes, I think we should. Let me actually see if I can even catch up with these guys, because they're going to move... Oh, we are moving faster. Wait a minute. Is it because... we only have a handful of people that we're moving so quickly? I assume that is the case. So even though they are, you know, consuming more of our capacity, we are still moving as if we had a smaller party. If that is true, which I think it is, it does seem as though it might be the case, then this is very, very good. And I feel like we can probably rely on our forces to pretty much have no problems whatsoever in escaping any situation, which I'm going to be very excited about. Because that means that we don't have to worry about pretty much anything happening to us. We can escape from anything that we like. Let's go for some leadership. I'm going to put 2 points in that, actually, because that is... well, generally, leadership is not going to be that good for converting prisoners for us. But it is going to provide a number of other benefits like loyalty and honor, famous commander, and all that stuff, which is hopefully going to provide us with, you guessed it, some faster clan tier level ups. I'm obviously going to also try to find if we can get a... what is it now? I think we're going to try to get a companion that has some trade skill at the very least, maybe some scouting skill so that they can be somewhat decent at doing what they need to do. Yeah, when it comes to running a caravan, please don't get shot, please don't get shot, please don't get shot. Okay, we're not getting shot right now, but we will probably be soon. Oh, nice, that was a good hit. Nice. Oh, that was even better. I'm surprised we're only getting 1 skill point for that. I was kind of hoping to get a bit more experience. Ah, there we go, there we go. Okay, that's nice. That's a little bit better. And as I said before, obviously we are going to end up using a bow. I would like to use a bow because that is actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to create an elf next. Because, well, to be honest, I never really think of dwarves using ranged weapons, but they do, and they actually use them extremely effectively as well. So I should really, rethink my my perspective on that. However, the point still stands. I always imagine elves with bows, which is hilarious considering what I said earlier in the video. But anyway, there you go. 1 renown for us. They were relatively easy to deal with. I mean, obviously I didn't really have to do much, and we also gained a helmet. Very good. Look at that. Now, obviously, this is. You know what I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to say it right now. Usually what I would do in a situation like this, in a themed run like this, where I'm only going to be using elven units, I would usually say, you know what, we're not going to use any other armor type, so we're not going to use, anything that we find. We're not going to use, yeah. I mean, okay, I'm going to say it right now. We will use evil men gear, but we will not use Uruk or Orc gear at all. That will be the line that we draw here, because obviously in this case I feel like this kind of, I mean, it doesn't suit us to a degree, but at least it's not something that's purely come from Isengard or Mordor or anything like that. So yeah, and considering it's a helmet, it's really going to make a big difference for us, at least for the moment. And we're just going to head on over into Lake Town right now and actually see. Hello, what about you, sir? Okay, so he has tactics. That might actually be kind of useful. So you know what? Let's get him. Let's get him. Hello there, sir. Okay, yes, you'll join me, and you will now become a caravan. I want to form a caravan. There's 15,000. There we go. Okay, so he will be a caravan. Who's this guy? Caravan ambush. Ooh. Okay, so caravan ambush. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait here for a little bit of time, because what we're going to need is we're going to need some additional HP to be able to survive a caravan ambush. I'm not sure if it's really necessary that we do that, because the caravan ambush itself is usually not that difficult. I'm not entirely sure if he's even going to give it to us, because we might not have. I'm going to just go with 50% because I'm worried about this fellow's task. No, he says, I don't, yeah, we don't have enough troops. We don't have enough troops. So I'm going to say that it would be cool if, well, funnily enough, I think he's probably going to say that even if we had 20 troops, as in actuality having 20 troops. So I guess I don't blame him for that. Let's just speak to this fellow. Hello there.
Come no closer.
Oh, come no closer, sir. Okay, so yes, actually, do you... no, I don't think you can help me. Really? Revenue farming? I can't even do revenue farming? That is so sad. What about... yes, my clan needs to be tier 1 before I can become a mercenary. As you can see, we're actually pretty far away from that. So, what we're going to have to do... You guessed it. We're going to have to find some very high tier... Well, shall we say not high tier, but a lot of enemies. A lot of enemies to fight would be... very advantageous for us at the moment, and obviously we're going to continue losing money every single day, so hopefully my caravan will start doing something quite nice for us. And yeah, we should, if we can, try to find a steward companion. Okay, so we might actually have a pretty good opportunity here. This is us going into a siege? What? What is my brain thinking? No, we're going into a tournament, you imbecile. I'm talking to myself there, of course. So anyway, there is a wonderful reward here. This is Theoden's sword. And, well, from my perspective, I think we might be able to achieve victory here. We're up against some enemies that we don't really have to worry about too much. And I think we should be okay. Unfortunately, they are still reasonably good at what they do. But this does give me an opportunity to level up my athletics skill somewhat. There we go, there we go. Very nice indeed. And I am very much looking forward to doing that, because we are going to need it, obviously. Ah, I got a bow. Okay, I'm not going to use it. No, I'm not going to use it, because that is fundamentally going to put us at a disadvantage. Yes, it is. It is going to put us at a clear disadvantage, because if we can utilize our skills appropriately here and eliminate this guy in a 2 versus 1, while the enemy's archer stays back, as you can see right here, we can go 2 versus 1 and then 2 versus 1 straight up. And that gets us the victory there. Now, we're back into a 1 versus 1. No bow, unfortunately. It would have been nice to actually have a bow 1 versus 1, to be honest, because that probably would have leveled us up quite nicely, but... well, you know how it is. Sometimes that's just not how we go. Nice. Okay, so it seems like he's doing the good old, like, block, attack kind of deal. No, now he's switched. Okay, he switched his rhythm. Very nice. And we're just going to continue doing some damage to him. There we go. And I'm going for the head, technically. I'm trying to go for the head slashers. Unfortunately, we're a little bit too close, I think, for that. Nice. There we go. We got him right across the face there. Perfect. All right. So we're now up against an Imperial Palatine Guard. This should be pretty easy. But it's... yeah, I don't like to really count my chickens just yet, because one of those times where I go, oh yes, this should be pretty easy, is always going to be the time where I get hit for an insane amount of damage randomly, because I'm taking a risk, or, you know, what have you. And, yeah, no, not in this case. Not in this case, as you can see. And we were able to achieve victory here. So this is obviously very important, just purely because of renown, but also because of the little bit of money we're going to gain, as well as, obviously, the sword. I probably wouldn't have done this if we were just going to get a regular reward or something like that, but the sword is really going to be quite nice, because we can sell it for a little bit of cash, as you can see right there. And, well... there's not much else I can say about that, to be honest, but yes, we can sell that. There we go. We're going to sell this as well. And what we're actually thinking of, well, shall we say, what I'm actually thinking of doing here is I'm thinking of actually speccing into smithing this time. I think smithing could be really, really fun with this character, just purely because of the, shall we say, the, well, somewhat of a connection with Elrond, and obviously the fact that he's kind of a smith himself. So... isn't he? I think so. I think if I recall correctly, he kind of is. Anyway, I think that would be kind of fun. Anyway, I came here, as you see, and there are no companions with Steward or anything like that, and there are no quests that I can really do. So I am going to just play for a little bit of time. I'm just going to let the time run. I'm going to run around trying to find a Steward companion. How many? I have 3 spaces for companions, so we should be pretty good. Alright, so before we go any further here, I have to report a couple of things. So we leveled up, as you can see right here. We have 1 attribute point, one what is it now? Focus point. Yeah, there we go. Focus point to spend. And we also have a couple of perk points, well, too, as you see here. So we can do morning exercise, which I personally really, really love for infantry-based characters, and generally if you need to run your troops halfway across the battlefield or something like that, then that's obviously fantastic. Because we're going for an archer-based character, though, I'm going to be taking Well Built here. Well Built is one of the best perks in the entire game, because it has an insane amount of synergy with a number of other perks that will provide your troops with a large amount of survivability. I'm mostly talking about... can I actually find it instantaneously here? There we go. Unwavering defense. Extremely, extremely good. Look at this. Plus 10 hit points to infantry in your party. Now, I don't know whether this directly affects archers, even though technically archers are considered infantry to a degree because they are not mounted. So it depends on how that really works. If that is only applied to actual infantry, quote unquote, as in like people that just have melee weapons and no horse, then that's still a very good perk. Very, very nice. And then, of course, we have the medicine skill, Minister of Health, which, once again, is amazing. This is probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest perk in the entire game for making your army unstoppable. Because, look at this, 25 HP to every single one of your troops. And imagine... you have the 2 other ones, right? The 2 other ones that we just have here. So, Well Built, that's another plus 5. So, already that's 30. And then we have another, which is plus 10 from the one-handed tree. And I believe there's another one somewhere else as well that actually provides additional armor for your troops too, which I think might be... oh, no, there we go. Thick Hides. As you can see, look at that. Another Thick Hides. That's from the two-handed tree. So imagine that. You already have 45 HP just from the base versions of every single one of the perks, and that is with medicine skill 275. That is not with any more than that, because obviously every single point, every single point in medicine you get, that's another hit point to your troops. So that's literally 45 to 50 additional HP for your people, and I believe there might even be additional HP somewhere here as well. Maybe, I don't know. You're gonna have to look through that, but generally there's so much additional toughness and survivability associated here. You can even get something that increases the armor pieces of mounted troops in your formation by 5. You see that right there, Dauntless Steed. So once again, more absolute madness when it comes to survivability, really making a huge difference there. Okay, so I don't really think that I want to go for additional athletics skill at the moment, even though athletics is really, really useful. I think what we're going to do instead is I'm probably going to be putting an additional point in polearms here. I know. And then we're going to be putting another point into endurance. I think we are going to need to level athletics, but not just yet. Alright, so here we go. This is going to be us against some Rune Raiders. Now, I did manage to recruit a handful of people before we entered this battle, and we now have a maximum capacity of about 40, which is pretty nice, I gotta say. That's not too bad, you know? But obviously that does mean that we only have a total numbering of troops of about, like, what, 20? Maybe even less than that, because archers do take more capacity than the regular Sylvan levies. So that's something to bear in mind. We need to be very, very careful of that as time goes on, because obviously we can't really max ourselves out as much as we would normally, because obviously we've got to take into account that every single time the levy levels up, it is going to be taking an additional, I think, an additional 2 spaces or an additional 1 space. I think we should probably take a look at that in just a moment and actually see what's going on with that. We need to make sure that I know exactly what's happening so that we have a bit more of an idea. Okay, so I'm not going to be changing that around. I will take some gloves, though. Thank you very much. And Phaedra is obviously going to need things as well, so let's give her this. Wow, that looks like some very audacious armor. Look at that. And we're going to just do that as well. Give her some gloves. There we have it. Okay, very, very nice. She's very pleased about that. I should probably get her some better gear, obviously, but I don't really have that much cash right now because we have just recruited some additional people. Alright, so before we go into another battle, I'm actually thinking right now that maybe what I should do is myself actually level up medicine. I feel like maybe that's the way to go here. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to do medicine and... Yeah. Let's do medicine. Let's do medicine. I really do want to try to maximize our survivability because I thought I actually had that kind of theory when I was initially discussing the elves, and I was initially thinking to myself, okay, how can I make the elves as strong as possible? And obviously, as I just said, we've gone through a lot of the various perks that you can take to increase your particular units and their efficacy, their ability to stay alive as best as possible is going to be a big challenge, especially considering the fact that these elves, they're always going to be, well, frankly, they're always going to be outnumbered. They're always going to be outnumbered in some way or another. Let's put these guys into a shield wall formation because we're going to be fighting these fellows out in the front here. Just going to do a little bit of damage. I'm not really going to be able to do too much. Or actually, maybe I am. Okay, that's pretty good. Not too bad. I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to get any damage off there at all. But yeah, actually pretty nice. Oh, you know, Bannerlord archers, they have some of the most frustrating AI to fight against. And not because they're particularly deadly or anything like that, but because they do an insidious thing. I don't know whether you've noticed this yourself when playing. But an insidious thing that they do is that they literally wait until you're close by to shoot you in the face. I know. It's absolutely insufferable. It's one of those. It's one of those things. So instead of them just shooting at you, they very purposefully wait until you get close, and then they shoot you. And they have basically, well, guts of steel, pretty much. Yes, nerves of steel. There we go, that's it. Guts of steel, nerves of steel, yeah. Anyway, there we go. 2.4 now. Not too bad, not too bad. We lost basically no one because we're playing exceedingly defensively here. And now let's actually see what happens when we create a border warden. Is that going to increase the capacity that this particular unit takes? It doesn't seem to. All right. But now the levies, on the other hand, let's level them up into more Sylvan Sentinels. So you see, we have 32 out of 40 at the moment. So let's see what happens. Okay, apparently nothing. Huh. Okay. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case, but I guess we'll just I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Anyway, there is a short bow here. Do I want? I don't really want to take the short bow, to be honest. It's going to be exceedingly bad. It's going to be one of those, you know, it's going to be one of those experiences where we get something and then I use it in the battle and it's just an absolute waste of time because I'm, you know, flailing around trying to shoot with this thing. I mean, it's not even a bad bow. That's the funny thing. It's not even bad. It's just the fact that it is, well, not a proper elven bow. Oh yeah, by the way, I did actually win another tournament and I got this, but this is a dwarven helm. And you could see here, it looks decidedly, shall we say, not very attractive at all. So it is going to be a thing that I am going to wear, of course. I'm going to wear it. Of course I am, yes. Of course I'm going to wear it. The reason why I have to wear it is because it's going to protect us from some wonderful headshots that are no doubt going to be coming our way. But so far, I feel like we're not having too many problems, as in, where am I right now? I want to go this way. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're not necessarily having too many issues right now because obviously, as you know, we've already got a steward companion, which is obviously making a huge difference. I mean, look at this. Our quartermaster is literally doubling the amount of troops that we can have, which is kind of insane. And we have how many? We have 8, 12, we have 15. All right, so we have 15 people, which is, well, frankly, very, very little, but, you know, we're not doing too badly on it, in my opinion. We're actually, what? Where did 3,000 gold go? Did he, is this guy literally serious? He literally just spent he spent all my cash, didn't he? Yes, he spent all my cash because he's buying stuff. Yes, he's buying stuff. Anyway, the Rangers of the North, led by Strider, confirm sightings of hooded, shadowy figures stalking the outskirts of the Shire. With a growing sense of worry and unease, the Rangers continue to keep a close eye on the unfamiliar visitors. Yes, as we know what happens there. Okay, so I am going to have to run very, very quickly. I'm not entirely sure how I'm even going to do this, to be honest, but Day Traveler is definitely going to help us out. And we'll get Veterinary, I guess, and we'll get 25% chance of dismounting an enemy with a heavy hit. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, so I'm going to have to run back here exceedingly quickly because otherwise my forces are going to start leaving, and that's going to be very, very bad. You know what? I am going to get rid of these. They're not going to give me anything anyway, and they're just going to slow me down. Alright, so we did finally make it over to the town, and what we're going to do now is we are going to sell every single little bit that I have here. So that's 1,800. That's going to be enough to at least pay our wages for a little bit of time, but I am perplexed as to what just happened. I'm going to assume that he literally purchased a bunch of trade goods, and that's the reason why that happened. But the thing is, how am I going to make that work now? How am I going to make this work? I don't know. One thing we could do is, I guess we could sell our civilian gear. We could sell the saddle horse. We could sell the scale barding. Oh, scale barding. That's actually really good. Hilariously enough. Yeah, we'll just sell these things because we don't need them right now, and we're probably not ever going to need them, to be honest. But yeah, let's actually see what we can do here. So we already have Rohan horse armor. This is 2,200 though. The question is, do I want to give up horse armor for 2,200? Yeah, kind of actually. Yeah, I don't really mind that. Yeah, let's do it. So we've got 4,100 now. That's a little bit more respectable. And I think what I would like to do is I'd like to do some trading. Mount Gundabad. Okay, they want fish. Let's take some fish. Let's see, how are we doing here? Oh, yeah, okay. Do they want anything else? No. Okay, they don't want anything like this. Okay, let's just take some butter as well. I just want to make sure that we're not too over capacity. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make our way back over to Mount Gundabad, and we're going to see if we can maybe sell some of this. Was it fish? Yeah, I think it was fish that I actually... I can't put it anywhere else. Okay, well, that's fine. Anyway, yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to get there in time to do a little bit of trading. It's not something that I really desperately wanted to do here, obviously. Oh, how did my money go down again, by the way? Did you see that? Or did I just not make that much? It's probably because I purchased a bunch of fish, isn't it? Yes, that's probably the reason. Anyway, we'll make our way down here. I'm hopeful that our caravan will actually start doing something. Because where is he right now? He's over here. Is he actually doing something, or is he just milling about doing nothing at all? Alright, so I made it to Mount Gundabad, and as you can see, the fish actually isn't even selling for that much here. I actually don't know why. I have no idea why that is, but we're just going to be selling a bunch of it anyway, just because. And I guess we can try and see if there's anything here that we can maybe buy to take back. Yeah, not really. I mean, grain is okay, I suppose. Grain is alright to really buy here. Maybe we could get cheese. Grain is more than double. Cheese is more than double as well. Okay, let's buy a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Capacity's been exceeded. They don't have any horses here whatsoever. That is hilarious. Okay, so we made it back to MIRKWOOD territory, and you can see here that we are going to be making 2,300, which is pretty decent. I sold all of my grain, by the way. I sold all the grain that I had because it felt like that was pretty decent, the amount of profit that we could get from it. And then the cheese obviously has... actually, you know what? We can sell the cheese too. Why not? We'll sell the cheese too. And otherwise, apart from that, we do have... Ooh, I should have bought tools at Mount Gundabad, as you can see right here. Yeah, tools would have been insanely good. Look at that. You can literally buy tools for 49 at Mount Gundabad, and then you could literally sell them for, what? Triple the amount or something? Yeah, basically triple the amount, maybe even quadruple the amount. So it feels to me like that is going to be an exceptional place to go. Mount Gundabad also wants flax, apparently. They really, really like flax. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of trade runs, or I'm going to do a couple of trade runs so you don't have to watch the inevitable back and forth over and over. And what we're going to do is we're going to try it out. So we'll just see how effective this is going to be, because let's face it, I don't have any trade skill whatsoever. Okay, so I'm actually really, really surprised here. I was able to buy all of the flax, and we did make it here with decent time. Surprisingly decent time. And now what we can do is we could do some pretty crazy stuff. Like, for example, look at this. Hardwood sells for 80 at the town that we just came from. And that is obviously the closest that we, you know, is the closest place to us, unfortunately. I really need to buy some extra horses so that we can move faster and that we can have a higher capacity, because my capacity at the moment is just absolutely, frankly, terrible. So we can also get some, potentially we could get some tools. Like I said before, tools are definitely going to be fantastic. Pottery is also amazing. Look at this. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be crazy good, actually. This is going to be very, very good. Look at this. Fur sells there for 943. So let's buy some furs. I'm not going to have a lot of money, unfortunately. I can sell the flax, though. Let's sell the flax. And that's going to make us a little bit of cash. And we'll buy the pottery as well. Let's buy quite a few. Let's buy quite a few of this. Let's buy that. And then what about silver? No, silver ore is not that good. Okay, tools, pretty decent. Let's buy quite a few of those. I'm going to be paying 2,000. That's pretty harsh. How's my morale? My morale is okay. Basically, what we're going to have to do is we'll probably have to suffer through a little bit of morale deficit, and we're going to have morale dropping as we cannot pay our people. And if our morale gets too low, bad things are going to happen. So we are going to have to be quite quick to get ourselves over there. You could see, though, that these things are absolutely insane to buy. Look at this stuff. Look at this. I could literally buy hardwood forever, and we could probably make massive bank. we're going to be making massive bank from selling this. Most of the towns in this area need hardwood, and Gundabad apparently has a massive amount of it, so it's extremely lucrative for us to go for this. So if you yourself are having a similar problem, and maybe you're having issues with, I don't know, running out of money with the elves or something like that, then, well, look no further. You could probably do some pretty cool stuff with trading with Mount Gundabad while you're not at war against them, of course. If you're at war against them, then you might be out of luck. Okay, whew, we made it. Actually, probably just in time, to be honest. Look at the amount of cash I have to spend. This is, frankly, a disaster. And I have to admit this right now. It was a mistake to get the caravan. It was absolutely 100% a mistake to get that guy. I don't know why he is failing so hard with trading here, because, I mean, you can see how much we're going to make, right? I'm going to be making so much cash right now, and it's not even like really that much of a surprise. I mean, look at it. Look at how much cash we're going to be making here. It's going to be insane. And I'm probably just going to get rid of all the pottery here, get rid of all the fur, every single bit of salt, every single tool, and all of the hardwood. And look at how much cash we're making. We're making 12,200. By the way, before the cutaway where we left Mount Gundabad, you saw that I actually had a cost of 2,700, and I didn't have enough money for that. So I sold one of my horses. Obviously, that was pretty bad because, well, we need them. We need horses. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just how things go right now. And generally, what's great though is that we're getting another 12,000 here. And we actually gained a level 2. Look at that. 7 skill points in trade and 1 focus point. The question is, do I want to spec into trade skill? Not really. I want to spec into smithing skill, actually. I want to spec into smithing skill. So we're going to be leaving trade skill because at the moment, it's okay for us. It's not obviously going to, you know, be something super, super amazing or anything like that. But we are going to be using... smithing skill to dramatic effect, hopefully to make some really, really good cash as well. And this is obviously going to feed into it. Now, trade skill is great. I'm going to say it right now. If you are going to pursue a line of doing smithing, it is highly recommended to do trade skill at the same time, because there are a number of perks that you can get that will allow you to do amazing stuff with trade skill. Like, for example, where is it? Where I'm looking for it this entire time and I cannot find it. Where is it? Okay, am I wrong? Am I wrong that you need this? Or at the very least, it's going to be really, really good? I mean, this initial thing is really, really good, by the way, just purely for selling equipment, for selling, you know, loot that you've gained from battles and stuff like that. So even if you just have to get 1 point in trade, Appraiser is really, really nice, at least in my opinion. Yeah, that's barter penalty for items. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, so apparently the thing that I was talking about is not here. I'm assuming it's under roguery skill, actually. So I'm thinking smithing and roguery are going to be fantastic together, just purely because of... Where is it now? Smuggler Connections. There you go. Smuggler Connections is fantastic. And also... I think Arms Dealer, is it? Yes, Arms Dealer. There you go. Arms Dealer, because that's a minus 20% sell price penalty for weapons. So if you have both of those, by the way, if you have both of those, Arms Dealer and Smuggler Connections, you are literally going to be raking in the cash when you make weapons, and you're going to have a great time. But yeah, anyway, we've gotten 12,000 in cash. Hopefully that's going to, well, I mean, it's going to evaporate relatively quickly because I do have to pay a lot of wages for some reason. I think my caravan is absolutely sabotaging me right now. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe we're going to execute him. I'm obviously joking, but maybe we're going to disband him or something like that, and then we'll see what happens. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.